everybody, welcome back to the channel. The first episode of Pre-Fallen, Part 1. Pre-Fallen, now, asking what is that? Well, Pre-Fallen is a sort of a prelude to what's coming up next, called The First Fallen. And this one is just basically the beginning, basically. Let's see how it goes. Okay, right. So the dawn before the war, in the beginning, before the great war in heaven, there was only the void. An endless expanse of nothingness, vast and unfathomable. It was neither light nor dark, neither hot nor cold, simply a chasm of silence, a canvas upon which all existence would one day be painted. Yet within its emptiness stirred a consciousness, ancient and indifferent. This consciousness would one day whisper, and the first stirrings of thought began to ripple through the emptiness. Beyond the void lay the outer darkness, a shadow of the void's emptiness, yet somehow more tangible, more sinister. Here, shapes began to fracture with reality itself. They were not beings in the sense that would later be understood, but forms of potential, flashes of energy and thought that could coalesce into matter, yet often shattered before fully forming. The outer darkness was a place of waiting, a crucible for those who would one day walk the plains of his existence. Among these factual echoes emerged the fractured ones. They were not many, and yet not one, creatures of broken light and scattered consciousness. They existed in perpetual incompletion, their very being a reflection of the instability around them. They wandered the outer darkness, drawn to the whispers of the void, learning the secrets of creation and chaos, knowing neither mercy nor malice, only the endless pull of what was and what could be. This was the universe before the angels fell, before the war reshaped reality itself. It was a place of raw potential, a liminal space where the seeds of heaven and the shadows of rebellion were quietly taking root. In these early moments, the story of all that would come, first fallen, of the angels, and of the wars to follow, was already being written, invisible, invitable. Right, okay, so the first one, let's look at the void before all, pre-existence, before the heavenly war and the first division of light and dark. So before angels, before matter, before even the first ripple of creation, there was only the void. It wasn't darkness, it was absence. So it's a boundless field of uniform potential, an endless silence pregnant with the possibility of everything. Within this emptiness, the first consciousness stirred, raw and undefined, often described by mystics as the pre-fallen wave. This was not yet good or evil, order or chaos. It was the unshaped foundation that would give birth to both. Some ancient texts call it the canvas of eternity, where the seeds of divinity were sown. Others believe it was alive in its own way, a pulse waiting to become creation. When the first beings emerged, this wave fractured, giving rise to the radiant and the rebellious alike, echoing across every plane of existence. Not exactly any fixed location, it's a concept rather than a place. Some occultists and esoteric thinkers link it to the deepest parts of space or the hidden realms of the mind. Said to be the source of all energy, matter and spiritual hierarchies, in some lore fragments of the pre-fallen waves still resonate in deep meditative states or cosmic phenomena. Alright, so on to the next one, which is number 2, is the outer darkness. So it's a theological realm, cosmological. So it's at first mentioned in early Judeo-Christian text, 1st century CE. Locations described really as beyond the created cosmos, metaphorically extra-dimensional. So the outer darkness is a term found primarily in Christian theology and apocryphal writings, often described as the furthest state of separation from divine presence. The phrase appears in the Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus uses it as a metaphor for rejection and ultimate judgment. Cast into darkness there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. In theological discourse, it represents a realm beyond the boundaries of light, creation, and grace. Some mystical traditions expand this concept, depicting it as a void beyond the known universe, an exile zone for rebellious or corrupted beings who cannot exist within the creative order. In some esoteric systems, the outer darkness is not hellfire, but rather cold emptiness, a cosmic quarantine where no divine light reaches. Over centuries, it has also been tied to occult thought and cosmology. Certain Gnostic sects viewed it as a remnant of chaos left after creation, a place where broken sparks of existence drift. Modern interpretations, particularly in literature and paranormal circles, treat it as the ultimate liminal space, an endless exile outside time and matter. So it's not hell, but beyond hell. The term suggests not fiery torment, but utter separation. So potential primordial tie. Some traditions connect it to pre-creation chaos, linking it to concepts like the abyss or primordial void. Paranormal resonance. In some occult and paranormal theories, entities described as void beings are sometimes said to emerge from a similar space. Right, so the next one from that is known as the fractured ones, or actually the fractured one. So before the shaping of heaven, before the first light, its location, the outer darkness, the edges of uniform creation. The fractured ones are whispered to be the first beings to splinter from primordial whole. They were not created nor cast down, but shattered off fragments of raw sentience that never found harmony. Their essence is said to hum with discordant energy, their forms jagged, many-faced and constantly shifting as though reality itself struggles to contain them. Each fragment is incomplete yet aware, seeking unity but never finding it. Legends claim they predate the War of Heaven, existing when the void trembled with untamed potential. They are the whisper before the first word, the static before the first song. The fractured ones are drawn to instability, cracks in faith, breaks in order. Wherever there is division, their presence deepens it. So unbound pre-fallen sentience. Their influence is not direct violence, but entropy, division, madness, and collapse follow in their wake. So basically, it paves the way for the first whispers of disobedience and the beginning of the dominions, the thrones of hell, heaven and earth. Right then, so that covers the beginning part. There's entities next that appear from the void, the creators of things to come before the Great War in Heaven. And tune into the next one then of Pre-Fallen, where we have the next three of the Pre-Fallen entity candidates. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's only a project. Don't know how this is going to work, so we'll just carry on and see how it goes. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and click that notification bell, and check out our other videos. Much appreciated if you do that. Do leave any comments in below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see and things like that. Any new ideas. Until then, have a good one. Bye now.